Okay, we are live for One Championship Inside the Matrix preview. This is the South China Morning post-fight podcast, SCMP MMA. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're all over the place. I'm just waiting for my guest, Chris Edwards-Bailey, to join. We've just enjoyed a nice 2-course lunch. I think he's a little late getting back, so I'm just going to kick things off without him. I'm praying he turns up soon. Yeah, we're going to be previewing all the title fights from One Championship Inside the Matrix, October 30 in Singapore on Friday. Let's see if this is him. I got Leon Jennings as well as going to join us from Asian Persuasion MMA, apmma.net. Go check them out if you haven't already. Leon's a pioneer when it comes to covering One Championship. He's never missed an event, I do not think. This might be the first event he actually isn't there in person for, because the media, we can't get over to Singapore, the Singapore indoor stadium, to watch this because of the coronavirus restrictions and all that. But we will still be covering it completely from home. I'm going to have a live fight companion on Friday night. I'm going to have all the press conferences afterwards. Going to have reaction. We're going to have all the articles, everything you need. Keep it stuck to SCMP MMA for your Inside the Matrix coverage. Yeah, here we're going to be breaking down all the fights on that card. You got 6-fight card, 4 title fights. Aung La Nsang versus Reinier De Ridder. Christian Lee defending against Iuri Lapicus, that lightweight title. Martin Nguyen against Thanh Lee, the featherweight belt. That's going to be a real scrap. Jing defending her strawweight title against Tiffany Teo. A rematch from 2018. Couple of nice fights on the undercard, if you can call it that. Eduard Folayang against Antonio Caruso. A real big lightweight clash, that one. Going to see if Eduard Folayang can still hang around in the top of the division. Then we've got Ritu Phogat will open the card against Srey in what should be a bit of a showcase for her. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be kicking things off soon. Just waiting for Chris to join me, as usual. Hope it's not too much longer. Apologies for the delay, everyone. I will be getting into it. And if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them there. We can get to it. If you've got any now, that would be good. While I'm waiting for Chris, just write in the comment box on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll try and answer it. Just hopefully Chris comes and joins me in 1 second. And Leon will be there. He's boiling a bag of rice, he told me. He's a vegan, so it's important for Leon to get his nutrition. Why don't I bring up the card just so there's something on screen for us? Ah, dear. Yeah. Tell us, what's your favorite fight? What are you looking forward to most? I reckon a lot of you obviously want to see Aung La, don't you? He is the man. We have a lot of support from Myanmar. Thanks, everyone, for all your support. We really appreciate it. This is the one. Okay, I've got the card here. Sharing it now. All right, yeah, as I said, 4 title fights. It's going to be so huge. Aung La Nsang against Reinier De Ridder. A lot of fans of Aung La's fans, the Burmese Pythons fans, they're all saying Reinier has been disrespectful. What do you think? He said he can choke Aung La Nsang out in 10 seconds. Aung La didn't like the sound of that, and he said, I'm going to smash his face into the canvas when we meet if he tries to take me down. Big talk. I love to hear Aung La Nsang talking a little trash. I know One Championship has relaxed the rules slightly on that trash talk side of things, which is good. I always love to hear it. But I am backing Aung La to win that one. I never back against Aung La. He's the man. He is the man. I think all 4 champs are going to retain. I do. I think it will be closer, though. It's not going to be easy for any of them. I think Christian Lee is his first lightweight title defense. It depends. See how much he's grown into that division. He looked a little small at first, but he's had a year off to put on some muscle. We'll see. Didn't matter against Dagi. He handled Dagi Arslan Aliyev really well in Tokyo at Century a year ago, October 2019. Martin against Thanh Lee, as I said, should be a real banger. That one, yeah, a lot of people are predicting an early finish. I am not entirely certain it will. I feel it might go the distance and we'll have a real war. And I'm interested because I want to see who's the more well-rounded martial artist out of these two. Who's got the takedown game? Who's got the ground game? We're going to find out if Martin Nguyen is more than just an overhand right hand, as a lot of people say he is. Or they used to say that. Obviously, he is more. We're going to find out. This is a real test of his credentials. Thanh Lee is no joke. He trains with Ryan Hall, who's an absolute wizard on the ground from the UFC in Louisiana over there. I'm so hyped for this fight. yeah, if Martin wins this one, I don't think anyone could say anything about him. That'll be a real statement. Xiong Jingnan against Tiffany Teo. Great match first time round. I really enjoyed that one. I'm looking forward to this. Tiffany Teo has also gone away and rebuilt her whole game. This is Tiffany Teo 2.0. No chill. Singapore. She's going to be in home soil. She got enough to beat the Panda. I don't know. Panda looked awesome last time in strawweight when she came the first woman to beat Angela Lee. Who we got here? Chris is going to be a little more delayed, so apologies. I'm going to just keep talking a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Has Xiong? Well, we got some comments. This is great. Thank you, because Chris is delayed while his cleaner is still at his flat. He can't jump on. Andrew Levin, thank you so much for joining us and for commenting. He's been thinking about the Martin v. Tan match. Can't decide. Still 50-50 for me. I know it is probably the toughest of those 4 title fights between those 4. This is the one I really can't decide. If there is going to be an upset, that might be the one for me. I don't see Martin being put away. I don't see Tan Lee being put away. But so I said I think it's going to a decision. Anyway, we got Leon Jennings on the line here. Leon, how you doing, man? How's that rice? You boiling the rice over there in KO? Not finished, huh?
Not yet.
All right.
Priorities.
Well, Leon is
podcast first.
joining us. Leon from Asian Persuasion MMA, apmma.net. We had you on the live media day, of course. This is the preview. We're going to be breaking down all of these fights, just fielding a couple of questions while I was waiting for Leon and Chris, who was still delayed. Another one from One Championship UK here. I'm looking forward to the Panda versus Teo. I think we might see an upset there. Aung La definitely will retain. Yeah, Leon, if you can pick one upset, who do you think? If one person's going to lose their belt on this show, what's your guess or your insider's pick?
I think we spoke about this the other day briefly.
Let's just rehash it.
I think the 4 champions I would put as favourite, although they're all interesting enough matchups that anything could happen. I personally think the closest matchups, as thing is, a lot of people think, Stan Lee challenging Martin Nguyen. I think Stan Lee just looked phenomenal in his 3 One Championship fights. But then he's fighting Martin Nguyen, who I think is pound for pound one of the best guys in the whole of One Championship. So, yeah, I think that's the fight I'm looking forward to most.
What's Tan Lee got to do to beat Martin?
That's a good question. I mean, they both match up stylistically well as well. So I think it's going to be a case of who's better on the night. I think they're going to have. They're both known for their striking. I'd say they're both well-rounded. Particularly Martin, maybe last year or so, training at Sanford MMA. What do you think? What does he need to do well?
I was just saying, I know a lot of people predicting it's going to be an early finish in that one. I've got some weird feeling it's going to go the distance. We're going to see an absolute war, and we're really going to see who is the better all-rounded mixed martial artist out of these 2, because we know they both can strike. Who has got the other strings to their bow? That's what I'm interested in, and I think we might see it. And I think that it might be Martin.
Yeah, I think on paper you'd think this is going to be one of them is going to get the knockout finish, but like you say, I think there'll be more to it than that. And quite often when 2 fighters stylistically match up well, 2 strikers, 2 grapplers, they often cancel each other out, and the fight goes completely in a different direction. So I think that's part of the reason why this one's so exciting to look forward to, because there's a lot of questions to be answered.
Well, yeah, that's always what we like, questions. So I did try my hand at some fancy graphics, Leon, but they took too long, so I ended up making only one of them because it took hours. So I do have a tail of the tape here, but it's only for the main event. But we can use that anyway. Yeah, look at all that. That took me so long. It shouldn't have taken me as long as it did. I'm not.
I don't want to break this to you, but
No, don't tell me.
You could have used.
He did what?
For the main event. If you go to Chattery on Facebook, he's done one of them kind of the numbers behind the main event.
All right. Has he done it for the rest of the fights? Because maybe I can just share his Facebook page.
I've only seen. I think he's only done the main event, or at least so far.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel slightly better. Yeah, I thought you were going to say, you got one of these facts wrong, like Aung La is 34 or 36. Now, how do you think they match up there? Have you watched? I watched the one put out a trailer for the fight on YouTube last night. I was watching that. Got me really hyped. Reinier is so confident, and I don't know whether it's misplaced confidence, if he's just saying it, but he really believes he's going to go in there and shock Aung La Nsang. I don't see it. I see Aung La retaining. We know the route to victory for Reinier is going to be on the ground, but can he submit Aung La Nsang?
Well, he thinks the fight will last 10 seconds if he goes to the ground. The thing is, though, I don't think he's confident.
Chris is here, by the way, everyone. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Some technical issues.
Has your maid finished cleaning your apartment?
Just about.
Technical issues.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you, Leon. You were about to give us your take on this main event. Aung La Nsang against Reinier De Ridder.
I don't think it's just a confidence for this fight. He's just a very confident human being. He just has huge confidence in himself. And like I said the other day, all fighters do. You can't step in a cage and not be confident because you're putting your health and possibly even your life at risk. You have to be confident. But there are certain fighters, just their confidence just seems to be a level above everyone else's. And Reinier is one of them guys who's just so confident, kind of quietly confident, but
yeah,
great to say it.
Agreed. Chris, we'll get your take on this main event. I'm just going to switch over Wi-Fi networks onto my phone because I realize I haven't logged on this. So I may dip out briefly from the convo, but I'll be back immediately. But you just talk, Chris. Let's get your take. Who you backing? Aung La Nsang or Reinier De Ridder?
See, this is so hard to call because my heart, everything in my mind says Aung La is just going to do it. He's going to dominate him. He's got so much power in all of his striking that usually he hits people and he hits them so hard they don't seem to know what hits them at all. And once he hits you, he makes you go down and he keeps you down. And that's the thing about Aung La. But Reinier De Ridder, I mean, I do have to agree with Leon. He has this really contagious confidence. There's something so amazing about how much belief he has in himself. I mean, obviously, coming up from Holland, being 30 years old, he has probably fought against all the best kickboxers in the world. I mean, Holland has a history like no other. But, I mean, look, Reinier's got definitely the reach advantage, the height advantage, and it can go either way. But there's something in my mind that just Reinier De Ridder's confidence. You know, I never, ever say when a fighter comes out and says, I'm going to do this or do that, I always say, it's all hyperbole. But then I look back on some of the best moments. I always shrug them off. But Conor McGregor coming out and doing what he did, and we've had it happen numerous times before. And there's just something that makes you think, yeah, I'm pretty much on the Aung La train. But for sure, if Reinier De Ridder can for sure create an upset here. And I think if he does, it's going to be devastating, exciting. And I only ever see De Ridder winning by knockout.
By knockout?
Knockout.
Yeah.
Reinier.
Yeah, that's the only way I see him winning. I don't think if it gets to the judges' scorecard, I don't think Aung La can. I think Aung La will win on the judges' scorecards as long as he fights well, because he always fights well and he hits hard. Because I don't know if De Ridder can do what he did in his previous fight, where he just does like kickboxing style point fighting, really.
Well,
I mean, go ahead, Leon.
He's saying he's going to win by submission in the second round. He said Aung La won't last 10 seconds on the ground with him.
Yeah, this was it. 10 seconds. The big mouth said, according to Andrew, they don't like Reinier in Myanmar at the moment, do they?
No, for sure.
they're quite biased towards Aung La.
For sure. But Renier's no slouch on the feet, and
No.
he trains with some real heavy hitters. He trains with Peter Baust, who, is top 5 lightweight in one. Trains with Gegard Mousasi, doesn't he? Who is also fighting, I think.
He's fighting about 12.
Yes.
I spoke to Reinier yesterday. I said to him, Gegard's fighting about 12 hours before him for the Bellator middleweight title. How crazy is that? And they've been sharing a fight camp together.
Yeah, so really good training partners there. I don't think Reinier is going to be embarrassed on the feet. But like Chris said, I think you look back at the Leandro fight, it seemed he just kind of hitting and then evading Leandro. He's evading Leandro for like 3 rounds and just kind of picking him apart. He finds ways to win, is how Aung La puts it. Can he find a way to win here? He's going to have to avoid Aung La's shots. I think the submission route is the only way he's going to do it for me. No one's knocking Aung La Nsang out. He told me that. He said, I'm not going to be able to knock him out. Leon, have you seen Aung La's takedown defense recently? No, that wasn't an issue in the Brandon Vera fight at all. Never came into play.
The crazy thing is he has 12 wins by KO or TKO and 12 wins by submission.
Yeah.
But because all his recent fights are finished by a TKO, I think his last 5 or 6 are all finished. We just think of him as a striker now. And this is a striker versus grappler, but they are 2 well-rounded MMA fighters. But Aung La's going to want the fight on the feet. Rainier's going to want to take the fight down to the ground. So it's going to be, like Aung La said, it's going to be a case of whose will is going to be the stronger. Where's the fight going to go?
Yeah, I found it. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I do have to agree. And I think as well, they both have really solid ground games. And but when you look at Aung La's ground game, he's very much a submission guy when he gets to the ground. While Reinier De Ridder, actually, I know he got that Dars chokes against Rong Fan, but if you look at a lot of his fights, he actually likes to do a lot of damage on the ground, and rather than look for submissions, he'd much rather get you in the guard or get mount and do damage to you before looking for the submission. And I just think that's the issue with De Ridder, because what was it, Gilberto Galvao, where he finished him with knees to the head, which is probably his best performance, I think, in the One Championship circle.
I found it interesting. Well, after Aung La said, I'm going to smash his head in if he tries to take me down, I think I was stirring the pot a little bit. I said, oh, Reinier, did you hear Aung La said that in the media day? And then Reinier said, he's not going to see my takedowns coming. It's not going to be like a double leg or anything like that. He says he can take down all these Americans that Aung La trains with in Sanford MMA, because you got to think Aung La trains with how many Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts in Florida? You got Gilbert Burns, incredible on the ground. Kamaru Usman, just these two
UFC fights. Then obviously there's probably BJJ world champion specialists that aren't in the UFC that are probably bigger than Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. So he's going to be well prepared. But I just think it's such the closer this fight's got, the more interesting I think I've found it. The personalities, the styles, the confidence for both men. I just think I'm looking forward to mainly the Martin Than Lee fight, but this is a very, very close second, I think. And I'm more excited by it as we get closer to it.
I'm very hyped up for it. If you haven't watched it already, go watch the trailer they put out on YouTube. It's so fun. I was hoping they might include Leon or myself on there in the video package. No such thing. They had a few tweets from other people. I think Marcel Dorf made it on there because he's Dutch and he tweets about Reinier. But no, I didn't make it in. Tammy said they might be using some footage from my interview with Aung La. And
that's in the video. That's in the preview video. Yeah, you're in the preview video interviewing Aung La, Nick. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
In your jacket, yeah, rather than the check shirt.
Oh, all right. I'll have to go check that out. If someone give me the link for that. I'll try and bring it up here. That'll be funny. All right, we got another comment from one of Aung La's fans here. Tomorrow will be the best match in One Championship history. That is a big bet. I'm not sure it'll be the best match in one history? It may be. I really enjoyed Aung La against Brandon. I thought the atmosphere was incredible. You were there as well, Leon, in Tokyo. There's nothing quite like an Aung La fight night, is there? And it's really sad that there's not going to be any fans. I know there's going to be 250 super fans, as they call them, but the thing with Aung La's fights is always there's so many people flying from Myanmar, and they make so much noise. You've been there. Did you go to Yangon for his fights there?
No, but even the Tokyo cards, it was like when Aung La was coming out, he was like being in Myanmar. He was just so loud. You'd have assumed that every person in the arena was from Myanmar. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But then it does come out to an amazing tune, walkout song.
Yeah,
like that.
I love his song. It's awesome. At least we get to hear that. Yeah, well, Aung La is going to be top of the card. He's also going to be doing an interview after the fight, which will hopefully bring you here on SCMP MMA as well. Leon, have you heard this? They're only doing each fighter individually, one after the other. It's not going to be a press conference. And it's going to be during the card, during the fights. We're going to have to...
I thought that was interesting. The fact they've already set up the times and the things. So like Aung La doing a post-fight interview before Reinier. You'd think they're
hedging their bets, I feel.
You think they'd just organise it more right.
What I found really funny was, have you got the email for it? I'm wondering if I could show it here, but yeah, I'm going to quote it.
And not all the fighters are being interviewed. In some fights so far, one or two fights it says the winner. It seemed a bit strange.
Well, yeah, basically, this is the paragraph I really enjoyed of the media invite. It said, aside from the athletes, chairman and CEO of One Championship, Chatri Sitchotong, might also be making an appearance to address the conclusion of One Championship's biggest event of the year. And they bring up a schedule, and then he's right at the end, and it says maybe. Either you do or you don't, Chatri. Come on, let us know, because I'm not going to hang around till midnight if you're not turning up. I'm trying to bring it on screen. Here it is. I got the schedule here. Everyone, if you want to hear all the interviews, we'll hopefully have it in some form on SCMP MMA. Sure. Leon, you're going to have everyone as well. Chatri Sitchong to be confirmed. Yeah. They don't normally interview the losers, do they? Especially. Do you still see them? With Martin and Thanh, they've only got the winner, but they seem to be wheeling out the winner and loser from Tiffany and Panda, and then the winner and loser from Aung La and Reinier.
It's strange.
Iuri doesn't even have a schedule. What if he beats Christian Lee?
Exactly. And then, no, like what if Antonio beats Eduard Folayang?
Yeah, bizarre. Maybe they'll just replace that time slot. It's all over the place. I've expressed my anger to Tammy, the one PR. I asked her she can help us with a little press conference at the end, just so I can watch all the fights. I don't want to be running around interviewing people while there's still fights going on. Anyway, we spoke a little bit already about Thanh Lee and Martin. Chris, we didn't get your take on that one because you were still waiting. Why don't we get you? Yeah, who are you picking? Thanh Lee, Martin Nguyen?
This is absolutely the fight of the night. I think it's probably the most of the 4 championship fights. I think it's the most evenly matched. I think it's going to be the best fight of the night. I think it's probably going to go towards the end or very close towards the end. And this actually, even though Thanh Lee has done everything, his career in the LFA, he's been fantastic everywhere he's fought. I just think Martin has a little bit too much for him, and I think he's just going to do what Martin does and go forward and just will his way to win, as he always does.
Do you think it's going to be an early knockout? I was saying I think we might get a surprise and see who's got the most skills away from the striking. That's what I want to see. Is it just going to be a striking contest?
I think they're going to try and keep it standing generally. At least for the first 1 or 2. Martin might try and take Thanh out of his comfort zone, take it down to the floor. But I just think Martin's just going to push forward. I think it's going to be back and forward. I think we're going to see both guys win rounds on both sides. But I think Martin will probably just edge it. Whether he gets a late knockout, a late submission, or we go to the judges' scorecard, I think all that experience of fighting at the very top of one for such a long time from such a young age. I think it might just see Martin edge his way home in this.
All right. Why don't we talk about Christian Lee defending that lightweight title against Iuri Lapicus? I'm going to ask you both, who's your winner quickly and why? Leon, we start with you.
I think you've got to put Christian favourite. I think Lapicus is going to have probably a size advantage, but I think it's difficult to underestimate Christian Lee after what he's done the last year or so, beating Shinyoraki, beating Dagi on short notice as well. And then you've also got the fact that is Lapicus really the number one contender in the stacked lightweight division?
Mm.
He looks phenomenal. 2 fights in one.
Yeah.
But that's a stacked division, and I don't know, he trains with Giorgio Petrosian, so I think he's striking very point. You know, he's good on the ground as well. I think it's going to be interesting, but I'd give the edge to Christian.
Breaking up slightly there, Leon and Chris. Can I hear you? How are you guys? Yeah, all right. I think I got you back.
Well,
yeah, Chris, who you picking? We were speaking at lunch, weren't we? And I was telling you that Iuri Lapicus, we were talking about how he trains with Petrosian, the best striker around. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Yeah, one of the best strikers around. And I mean, a lot of people do see that he trains out Petrosian over in Milan. But this is what you got to remember. I think he's 12-0, isn't he, Iuri? And with him being 12-0, a lot of people think it's all knockouts, but it's actually 8 submissions. He's as well, he's only gone out past the first round once in those 12 outings. So it does show he just finished his fights. Maybe he just hasn't been fighting at the highest level yet, but both his fights in one looked really good. The Shannon fight, his only fight to go outside the first round, but it was very, very one-sided, and I think he was dominant on the ground. And once he got the rear naked choke put in, we knew what was coming. And then he did the same to Gafurov, who is a top opponent, and I thought he dealt with it very, very quickly, actually. And I think that's how he got the title shot, was not just beating Gafurov, but it's in the way he beat him. And I think that's what elevated him to him. And so far, I've chosen both the champions. For all I love about one championship century, the only problem is none of the belts changed hands. And I'm one of those guys. I want to see the belts change hands every so often. So this is going to be my upset of the night. I'm going to go for Laurie Lapicius.
All right. Well, I think this is about Christian from One Championship UK. 4-1 on 10 days' notice. I don't see him losing easy. Is that the Dagi fight, I guess, from Century?
Yeah, that was. He came in on late notice, so his cardio wasn't great. Dagi had been ill for that. I spoke to him a couple of days before, and he said a few days ago he was in bed, couldn't move, and both of them were knackered in the first round. So I'd love to see that one back again with both of them at 100%.
Yeah,
I would love to see that. The thing I really enjoyed, well, they had the Leon. You were there as well, right? And they didn't show it on TV, but they actually brought out a sick bucket for Dagi, because he chundered everywhere after the fight, and then they were mopping it for about 10 minutes in the ring while no one could see it on the broadcast, but he threw up all over the ring.
That was Christian.
Or was it Christian?
Yeah, Dagi.
Oh, Dagi was on the stretcher. Christian was throwing up.
He just had nothing left. Christian was sick in a bucket, yeah.
Oh, it was a complete mess. Everyone was just on the floor,
I think he did get it in the bucket. Because this Christian Lee, he's got good aim.
I just remember it took so long to get Dagi out of the ring. There were people surrounding him. We thought he was really injured or something. But I think you're right. I would love to see that fight run back. Dagi was ill, not 100%, says Andrew. Yep. Agreed. I think maybe Christian got, I don't want to say too much credit for that win, but that was the fight where everyone took notice of him really and said, okay, he's the real deal. Well, if Dagi wasn't 100%, can you say he's the real deal?
Well, Dagi especially, because Dagi, he told me before, and he'd been really ill. I don't know if he told anyone else. I mean, I didn't hear anyone else mention that, or if anyone else knew that. And then Christian came in on late notice, although he's always training, obviously. He trains hard. Fight camp's a bit different. And they were both physically tired, but Christian just seems to have that iron will. And he just, obviously, so mentally strong, so confident in himself, and a warrior, as his nickname is. Just
I always look at the Aoki fight, though, and I actually thought until It went to the ground. I thought Aoki was winning that fight against Christian Lee. And then you look at
Broke his arm in the first round.
and you look at the Martin fight, the first Martin fight. Martin submitted him really easily, and then in the second time, I know it was a split decision, but I think we all had Martin winning that, and I thought he outstriked him. So I mean, the blueprint is there, and if Laurie is that good on the ground, and if he's striking training with Petrosian out in Milan, if it is that good, I think he can cause Christian Lee a whole world of problems.
To be fair to Christian, when he first fought Martin, he was probably, I think he was about 12 years old. He's only now, what, is he 22? 21,
22, yeah.
22, yeah.
So I think he's 21 when he won the belt. He's so young. He's had so many fights. He's blitzed everyone, apart from he lost to Martin. And that was competitive up until he got knocked down and then submitted. The second fight, nothing really happened with Martin. And then he was disqualified when he beat Edward, when he lost disqualified against Edward Kelly, but he was winning, and then won the rematch pretty comfortably. So,
but let's also not forget, Laurie just turned 25 7 days ago. He just turned 25 7 days ago. So I mean, he is a bit older than Christian Lee, but he is still a little bit of a spring chicken, isn't he?
Yeah, you forget how young he is. Because partly as well, not only has he fought so many times, he's champion. He's fought for the featherweight belt before this, but he's just so mature as well. When you speak to him, and he just makes me feel so mature. Like even when I was interviewing him 2-3 years ago when he was like 19, he's just such a sensible head on his shoulders. It's crazy.
Yeah, Chris and I, we were saying, weren't we, over our steaks about an hour ago? Yeah. What is Christian? Who's he training with? You know, has he got that level of training partner that Iuri Lapicus has got? Because if it's just at United MMA in Hawaii, if it's just Dad Ken and Bruno, is he going to be prepared for this striking battle? Leon, what do you think?
Bruno's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, comes from Brazil. If you anything know about anyone from Brazil, you know they can play football and they
yeah.
So, and he's, I mean, look, he beat Shinjuoki, and how many people have survived Shinjuoki recently? He lost, I think, 2 in a row. He lost to Gary Tonin, and then I think he lost to Ben Askren, who was a lot bigger. And then since then, I think he's demolished everyone in the first round. It's like Damian Maia in the UFC. You know what he's going to do. But he gets you to the ground, he submits you. He's so good at it. And he's done the same to Christian Lee in that first round. But Christian Lee managed to survive it. Crazy armbar. And yeah, we all know what happened in the second one.
My glasses are broken. I'll just fix those. But got a couple more comments from a few of Aung La's fans, as always. Salman saying Aung La will take longer, win 5 rounds. Interesting to see tomorrow. Yeah, that was it. Why don't we talk about the 4th title fight? I know you'll be up for talking about this. One Championship UK. Covering that women's scene in 1. Tiffany Teo, Xiong the Panda Jing Na in the rematch. We'll get your quick picks. Chris, who are you going for?
You know what? I love Tiffany Teo. I think she has a great personality. I think within One Championship, she has pretty much proven herself to be so totally deserving of this title shot. I love the fact she went with the short hair. I love the fact she shaved it all off. I love the style. She's kind of doing a bit of a Fug Tiffany kind of move, copying a little bit of Fug Rose from the UFC. But I'll tell you what, to me, the Panda just has a little bit too much. And right now, there's probably her and Aung La in One Championship. There's probably, probably those two have separated themselves from every other contender, really, within their division the most. They are heads and shoulders above everyone else. And for everything that Tiffany can do, I just think the Panda, I'd be surprised if it gets up past the 3rd.
You wouldn't put Martin Nguyen in their league?
No, I think actually Martin's got I mean, look, he's got a really, really tough fight in Tan Le, and I don't think he's truly conquered the whole division in the same way where Aung La's done it in 2, and Panda's just so dominant against everyone else.
This is something that came up in the media day they were calling her the punching panda, like Andrew has here. Have they officially changed Zhong Jingnan's nickname? Has she changed it from the panda to the punching panda? I need to know. Someone fill us in. I'm not sure I like it. I like the panda. I like No Chill. Some good nicknames in this fight. Leon, just tell us again who you're going for. I think you may have told me at the top of the show while we were waiting for Chris to jump on. You still have you changed your mind in the last 10 minutes?
Well, I don't think we spoke about this one, but I think
Okay, here we go. Cool.
fighters very underestimated. She's only got one loss. She's one of them fighters we don't really take so much notice of her, but she just gets the results. She gets the wins. She deserves another title shot. But yeah, I think Zhong Jingnan is just, again, I think she's going to be too strong. She's also moved to Evolve MMA since losing to Angela a year ago, so that's going to be interesting. It also makes it a bit more difficult to train for someone, not knowing if they're going to have new tricks up their sleeve, come from a different angle. So, but I'm back in the panda, the kicking panda.
The kicking panda. What Tiffany's saying is the panda is not going to know, what to expect. She thinks she does, but I've changed things up so much. Chris, is that the way to victory for Tiffany here? She's going to have to outsmart Zhong and really mix it up, because when someone's beaten you before, you have to change things, don't you? It's a no-brainer.
Oh, 100% she has to change things. I mean, look, that Nicolini fight is probably her best fight within the organization, her best win. That was a fantastic decision. But to tell you the truth, just the panda to me, she's the best woman in the organization. To me, she's much more well-rounded than even Angela Lee herself. And I think she's, after the first fight, after going into the fourth round, I think she already knows so much about Tiffany. She's going to do it even easier the second time round.
All right. Leon, One Championship UK is promising to buy you a beer if Tiffany wins. I don't think you drink beer, do you?
Vodka.
All right.
Leon, I heard you don't drink one. You only do 10s. So I guess they have to bet you 10 beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all or nothing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't see it happening. I'm picking the panda as well, myself. Yep, 4 title fights. What about this, though? Eduard Folayang against Antonio the Spartan Caruso. This one's going to be fun. I think it's huge implications for that lightweight division in terms of, is Eduard Folayang on his way out of that top? Sorry, he's not in the top 5, but is he on his way out as a contender, shall we say? Is this Leon vital for Eduard? If he doesn't win this, is he done in terms of being a challenger?
Yes and no. I think as a challenger, maybe yes, but as you said after the other day, someone asked him about retirement. He's got no interest in stepping away from the sport anytime soon. So this is what a fight to lead us into the 4 title fights. I mean, Antonio, obviously, he comes from a grappling background, but his fight against Peter Booth was mainly on the feet, and it took a bit of a beating for 3 rounds. But how did he last 3 rounds? It was pretty crazy. So we know he's tough. We know Edward's as tough as they come. So this is going to be, like Antonio said, this is going to be a war.
Antonio obviously training at Sanford MMA with Aung La Nsang, with Martin Nguyen, with Teal Tang, the whole crew's out there under Henry Hooft. Chris, what do you make of Antonio? I haven't seen too much from him on that Peter Baus fight. Do you think he's got enough here to see off Eduard? And maybe, I'm not sure this would get him into that top 5, but it certainly sets him up for maybe a rematch with the loser, or sorry, not a rematch, but maybe he gets the loser of Peter Baus and Timothy Nasty Euking, something like that.
Well, I think with them both losing to Peter Baus in their most recent fights, I think it's actually quite a good eliminator to see where they both are. I mean, I love Eduard Folayang, but at 35 now, he's getting a bit long in the tooth. Carrasco, he's young, he's hungry. I think he's just going to edge it. Something in my gut. I mean, you can't really choose between the two both fights. They both kind of got beaten. I know Folayang technically got a split decision, but I didn't have it as a split myself. I thought the winner was quite clear and obvious. And I do think probably it will not get either of them really into the top 5, maybe one fight away from top 5. Maybe they'll get one of those big guys just hanging around the outside of lightweight, or they might get the loser of Boyce Nasty Yukon, or you never know where the Alvarez is hanging about. Yeah, I just think, I mean, Folayang, he's been there so long, fighting on main cards. He's going to do okay whether he wins or lose this because, look, there'll always be cards in the Philippines. It's a big market. He'll always be a co-main or third on the cards kind of event there. But I'm a big fan of one. I'm a big fan of the organization more than I am the fighters, to tell you the truth. And for the organization to grow, we need to see more top quality opponents from within Southeast Asia, from the wider region, and from all over the world. And I just want a bit new blood, so I'm going to back Tony with the win, and I'm going to go third round TKO.
Big stuff. Leon, did we get a prediction from you, or did you just give some talk? Who are you going for?
I haven't really got a prediction on this one. I think it's too evenly matched. The fights like this, I think are going to be so exciting that anything could happen in MMA, but there are certain fights where they're going to be a war that literally, I just think to myself, there's no point me even predicting this because it's just a complete and utter guess. So I'm just going to, I've made a new pact. I'm not going to predict any fights if I'm 50-50.
Okay. I'm not sure who I'm going for. I think Antonio decision, and I think Eduard will shift from. He'll move into a gatekeeper role. Anyone who wants to kind of make moves on that top 5 is going to have to go through him. Things like that. He'll still have plenty of good years and plenty of good fights in Manila. I think he's always a valuable asset for those shows in Manila. A lot of interest in the Philippines in one. We got a couple of comments.
As well as I get on very well with both of them, and I like both of them. I don't want to predict one of them's going to lose.
Yeah, this is the toughest thing sometimes about covering MMA, and specifically one for me, because you and I have sat down and had dinner with Aung La Nsang and Martin Nguyen and Teal Tang in Kuala Lumpur, and to then go and have to predict their fights, and maybe you never want to go against them because you kind of have a small level of friendship there, and you got to do the job, Leon. But good thing I'm predicting Aung La and Martin to win, I think, so they won't be mad.
I think it's Aung La and Martin, although I think they're both going to be very competitive.
Yeah, it should be great fights, but there's no disrespect to Reinier and Thanh, because Thanh Lee as well, especially, I think, super respectful dude. I really enjoyed interviewing him for the first time. Yeah, and Renier's been funny. It's a breath of fresh air, his confidence, I find.
So,
Leon, you see all 4 champions keeping the belts this weekend?
I would. That'd be my least surprising outcome.
Yeah.
Your hot take.
Out of the 4 fights, which one do you think is most likely for the belt to change hands?
I think the most evenly matched fight is Martin Nguyen versus Thanh Lee, which I think most people are kind of looking forward to most. But I'm not sure if I can see Martin losing that, even though I think it could be extremely close. And like Nick thinks, I think it could easily go 5 rounds and surprise everyone, because I think they're going to even each other out a little bit. Or it could be a knockout in 30 seconds, because both of them have got crazy knockout power.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't have too much respect for each other's striking, and kind of it all plays out like that. So I hope that we get the fireworks we're expecting in that one.
Oh yeah, 100.
Well, One Championship UK is asking again, who would you guys be most surprised to see lose? Which I think just feeds into what you're talking there. But if we're just talking the whole card, I'd be stunned if Ritu Phogat loses. Yeah. I think they're lining up her to have a little coronation there, aren't they? The show is going to be live on beIN Sports in India. I think it's right before the IPL.
Star
so
India.
It should be Star, not beIN Sports. Sorry. beIN is, I've got beIN on the mind. I was watching beIN Sports this morning. I should know more about Star. They gave us a copyright strike on on a highlights, One Championship highlights video from August. So
I can out Trump that. I
Oh, yeah?
I got 2 strikes from them for videos I'd permission to post. One finally gotten to reverse them. I had them reversed, and about 2 days later, they gave me strikes again for the exact same video.
I feel like yeah, they've been just carpet bombing everyone on the internet with this stuff, and it's nothing personal.
The TV rights say that no one else can post videos that they're posting. Obviously, that's only
So
in India.
I've just started geo-blocking my videos in India.
How?
You know, the highlights.
Talk about that later.
You just put it on. I'll show you after this. It's fairly easy. Leon's camera is still clean, says Rocket Cat. Yeah, he cleaned it up in the media day. No smudge this time.
I do every day.
Just to go back to that question, Nick, Ritu on the whole card, I would say, is the least likely to lose, but probably out of the 4 champions, the least likely to lose has to be the Punching Panda.
I agree.
The Punching Panda.
Yeah. Or as Leon calls it, the Punching and Kicking Panda.
Yeah, Andrew says it's been Punching Panda since the beginning. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I just missed it.
Yeah, I've always known him as the Panda because if I'm talking quickly and I don't want to butcher her name, Panda is a quick alternative. I have to take my time today. Jing Nan. If I say it in a rush, who knows what comes out of my mouth.
It was hilarious in Tokyo when you kept calling her what, like Jing Zhong Nan or something, repeatedly.
Nan and Jing Nan are almost exactly the same. But I just need I need half a second to think about the difference before I say it. And if I'm talking quickly, then I have no control over my brain anyway, in my mouth.
I remember that was hilarious, especially when you asking Chatri a question as well in the press conference, and you standing on the side, and you're like, Chatri, over here. And he's like, yeah, I know, but he was looking straight down at the camera. But you're like, I'm over here. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to look that way.
I kept forgetting after the answer, you had to wait for the translation, and I'd jump in every single time, forgetting. And Chatri just laughed, and I was just going, oh God.
Yeah, that was good, man. We needed a bit of that after such a long day. Well, I think we got another fight. We'll break down the Ritu one in a minute. Just a couple more comments. Aung La's fans are out in force here. Big up the Burmese Python, massive. Good luck with your fight tomorrow. We love our national icon. He will win and still show full respect to his opponent. Yeah, Aung La is so huge over there. I don't know what this means, but I think it's supportive of Aung La. We got a couple more from Mo. Here. Go ahead, Leon.
He's so motivated because I think of Reidier's prediction of submitting him in 10 seconds on the ground. I think that's really put the smoke up Aung La, and he's really gonna be up for even more.
But
than he's been after having a year off or a year away because of the whole corona situation.
Yeah. The one thing I've been hearing though, Leon, is that De Ridder, he's been getting a lot of abuse and a lot of call outs from all the Burmese army out there, all the Aung La army, and he's just been using that to motivate himself to a touch. And I think he's ready, maybe not to prove the world wrong, but definitely for sure ready to prove Burma wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Mo, Mo's giving us a big breakdown here. Thanks for watching, Mo. I don't think De Ridder has enough strength to choke Aung La. Grabbing takes more energy, and the more he does the ground attempt, the more on his energy be sucked. He has a little chance in the early rounds. If he can't do it, I don't see he can do it in the late rounds, and let's see it in the early rounds. Aung La will be very fresh, and all of his kicks and punches will be dynamite. I'm loving this breakdown. Detailed. I want more of it from you guys. And his defense, to take down will also be at top level in these scenarios. Aung La will dominate in round 5 and up. So Aung La said more likely round 3, KO or TKO. Other possibility is choke even to De Ridder. Rocker Cat saying, I'd be surprised if De Ridder could keep Aung La down for more than 5 seconds, to be honest. Yeah.
I hope he does go down to the ground because that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, what about this? Henry Ford is asking, because I think this might apply to the Ritu fight. Does one FC give their stars favorable matchups to build them up? I feel like the Ritu fight maybe, this is one of those instances, isn't it, Chris? I think we're all picking Ritu here, aren't we?
This is a
100 case for her.
I mean, look,
not just one though. I think this happens in
all organizations do it. I mean, look at Bellator with Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, Aaron Pico, Dylan Dennis. I mean, Dylan Dennis is a great jiu-jitsuist, but can you get him someone to fight who can throw a punch or a kick? I mean, most of the organizations, your KSW, the only one who really don't have to do it is the UFC, but they kind of do it themselves because they have those 2 TV shows, and they have LFA, they have a Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter, which is pretty much what they do, but they just do it outside of the main cards and the main events.
To be fair, you can't win to a certain extent. If you give someone a slightly easier road, like for example, Victoria Lee, I heard someone comment, "Oh, she'll be given loads of easy fights." Yeah, she probably will. She's 16. But then if you go to kill her to begin with and they killed her, people would criticise that. So if you're a promotion like One Championship, you're going to get haters. With whatever you do, something, whichever way you go, people are going to criticise you. Whether you're One, Bellator, they say UFC is a bit different because to get in the UFC, obviously, is you can often got to go through, like say, Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter.
Well,
certainly no UFC.
Yeah, I feel like Chris says it's not just one who does this, and it's maybe an evil necessity. Is that the right phrase? It's a necessary evil. Sorry, of something. Sometimes you've got to do it. Yeah, as Leon says.
Rita's only fought twice. She shouldn't be fighting Denise Zamboanga next.
No,
she's fighting someone who's 1-on-1, comes from a striking background, so it makes it a bit interesting. Rita has to get it to the ground, you'd think, and if she doesn't, she could be in trouble, even though she says she wants to test her striking, because I guess if you've got a good growth mindset like herself, like Gary Tonin, you want to stretch yourself without just keep relying on your strength, because that's how you grow. But although I think Rita's the favourite, I think it's an interesting matchup.
I think one maybe took it a little too far with some of those shows in Bangkok this summer. Stamp and Denise just got fed some absolute fodder. I think
during a pandemic, I think you've got to give someone leeway, whether it's One, whoever it is. In a pandemic, when there's lockdowns in Asia, where all the borders are closed, you've got to give them a bit of leeway, because although you don't want 2 mismatches, but look at that boxing fight the other day. Professional boxing, professional beat some pretty much amateur in about 10 seconds. One of the most brutal knockouts. Is it Showtime, or I can't remember which one? It was one of the main. It was on ESPN or Fox in the US.
Yeah, I remember some buzz about that.
It was on the card of the Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko.
No, it was about a month ago.
Yeah, it is an issue. I think Leon makes a good point. At that point, they were just trying to put on shows, weren't they?
Shows to a certain extent, especially the Muay Thai fights.
Oh, yeah. The problem there as well is that when you're doing shows in Thailand, the MMA community in Thailand is pretty small. I mean, look, if you look at some of the shows they've been able to put on in organizations in Korea and Japan, where there's a lot more people doing MMA and the general standard of MMA is much higher than Thailand, they've been able to pretty much even get people from the same gym and put on very, very high level fights, which you can't really do in Thailand. And it's not really, One Championship is not an organization like the UFC or Bellator, where they're built around one country or one giant country in the same way as they are. Because, I mean, there's no real 1 or 2 countries that you can say provide the vast majority of champions or athletes in the same way you can with other organizations.
We got some more comments, mainly on the main event. No surprise there. Aung La's fans weighing in. Kjorlinton saying, "I don't believe De Ridder is Aung La's level. He will prove it tomorrow night." Andrew raising a point I thought about as well, because I'm a Manchester United fan, and Paul Pogba got coronavirus, and it's taken him a few weeks to really get back to full cardio level. Leon, do you think having COVID is going to affect Aung La in this fight? He said it took him a couple of weeks to shake off, but then he got back to the normal level. Is that just a poker face? Do you think there could be anything?
As we know, I thought I might have done coronavirus 7 months ago, but it's turned out to be bronchitis. I've had for 7 months. So I thought, wow, coronavirus could really damage your lungs long term. I thought if an athlete, this happens to an athlete, that's the end of their career, or that's going to be a massive setback. But so many athletes have, I mean, it's weird. I don't know anyone who's pretty much caught the coronavirus other than loads of athletes, and they all seem to have made full recoveries.
Yeah, Rocker Cat saying, I agree with Andrew. I've got a mate who had it and has been having breathing issues since. I think, yeah, as Leon says, the elite athletes, their bodies are pretty good at shaking it off.
We do also have to remember it might alter between sport and sport. I mean, you know, this is a sport where you go at it from at most 25 minutes. I mean, you know, it might be different if we look at football players who run around for 90 minutes or a marathon runner. It might be totally different depending on the load. But the one thing is you've got to see what the adrenaline does. And particularly, we'll see what the gas tank's like if we do get to the 4th or the 5th.
Oh, no, I think if your lungs are on 100% and your cardio's down, you're going to struggle early because it might only be 25 minutes. There's different pace, fast pace. Football is a little bit more start-stop, as is tennis. I mean, tennis, my old sport. You sit down for a little break, a little tea break between every other game. MMA, it's particularly.
See, Leon, I can tell you're not a Liverpool fan because you haven't watched Liverpool play. We don't stop. Get impressed. I'm sorry about that.
I've got Man U and Liverpool either side of me.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry for you. Let me just say 5-0 last night. Good win for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's mighty Red Devils.
You ever been to Manchester, Nick?
I've been several times, Leon. I was there for I saw Bisping Henderson in Manchester.
You've been in Manchester once?
No, I've been about 5 times. My dad used to take me. I mean, 5 matches. I used to go. I had so many friends at uni there. I went up and down.
Yeah. You do live about average distance from Manchester as the average Manchester United fan, I guess.
Yeah, man. We're all from London anyway. We, you know, it's like a London team basically. Henry Ford has got some more comments here. Henry, I think you're going to anger Aung La's fans with some of this stuff, but we'll say it anyway. Stir up some debate. I watched Aung fight some Russian guy and they robbed the Russian. Can you guys remember the fight? I presume you're talking about Vitaly Big Dash.
Not Victor Bigfoot.
Victor Bigfoot, as Leon called him on another preview. Yeah, I don't know. You were there, or you saw those fights, Leon. Do you think Vitaly was robbed? Okay, well they were gonna do it again, weren't they? The trilogy. So they clearly think that Vitaly has a case for a rematch.
It was extremely close. I spoke to Vitaly since then, and he did say he thought he won the fight, as you I guess you would do in a very close fight. But yeah, if it hadn't have been for the coronavirus, Aung La would have defended his title against Vitaly in May. Because Reinier won against Leandro Tidas to get the title shot. Reinier had a slight injury coming back from Jakarta. So it's been a bit of a blessing in disguise, the coronavirus, for the Dutch Knight.
The Dutch Knight. Well, Henry also doesn't think that, as he calls him, the Riddler is really the best guy they could come up with. Surely Aung smacks him around with ease. Chris, do you think it's going to be that easy for Aung?
I actually don't think so. I think a lot of people are underestimating him completely. He's got great takedown defense. He's very rangy with his kicks. You know what? He's got one of those really long bodies that are just fantastic for jiu-jitsu, where with having really long limbs, you seem to be able to just get that extra little bit of leverage and you can get it much quicker, bit less muscle on the bones, and can turn those forearms like knives when you get them up against the right point. So Yeah, I think a lot of people are writing off the Ridder like he's some sort of bum at the bottom of the pile. I mean, you don't get to 12-0 if you're no good.
I think one of the fascinating things about these 4 title fights is obviously you expect all title fights to be competitive, otherwise, well, it just doesn't make sense otherwise. But these fights, all 4, I think, could be quick finishes. They could be 5-round wars. They could be technical chess matches. There's so much intrigue, I think, in all 4 of these that anything could be possible. Even like the ones we think maybe were more one side than the others. It wouldn't surprise me if they did go 5 rounds or they finished in the first round. Jimmy
Jackson's not happy. He says Aung La will win for sure. You all suck. We are all predicting Aung La going to win, Jimmy. I think it was a clean sweep. It's just Henry Ford is the one making trouble here.
Yeah. Died a long time ago.
I cannot put Henry's next comment on screen. It'll anger too many people. No, you can see it in their comments, right? Is that on your screen?
No.
Oh dear. No, I will not incite this backlash. We will move on. Sorry?
I would put it up.
Okay. Yeah, Leon likes to stir the pot a bit more than me.
Yeah, they'll only burn it down so they can build a bigger one for him.
Oh, he's just giving it away there. Yeah. Henry, we may as well. Chris has just blown it. Henry thinks if Aung loses, they'll burn the statue down. They will not. He's the hero. I think Henry's having a bit of fun. We'll have a bit of fun on this show. Another comment here, another fan from Aung La. I expect Aung La will give a lesson to another one, calling him the Riddler. Could be his new nickname, because the Riddler is doing only one ground game. Yeah, it's whether Reinier is going to be able to do anything on the feet. That's the key, I think, for this fight. Or if he can get the takedown.
He's a grappler, but he lives in Holland. He's Dutch. He's surrounded by kickboxers. So...
Also...
Again, a factor.
Yeah, they've been talking about how it's the first time the other corner is going to be able to hear what he's saying, because Henry Hooft, Aung La's coach, is Dutch, so they've come up with a bunch of codes apparently to deceive Aung La. Not that I don't think Aung La would have been relying on hearing his opponent's corner anyway, because you can't usually hear them anyway during an Aung La Nsang fight, can you?
No.
If I'm just going on Tokyo, that was a crazy atmosphere. Very gutted. I will not be there for this one. We had another question from One Championship UK. Speaking of Korea, what are your thoughts on Show Hee Ham being in the GP? Leon and Chris. Chris and I talked a bit about it before. Doesn't look like Chatri has confirmed it though. He seemingly didn't deny or confirm it. But yeah, Chris, do you think she can mix it up in the GP? Oh, why don't we get Leon's take? Because we had Chris and me talked about it at length, I think. Leon, what do you think of Ham in the GP?
Well, she's slightly small, isn't she, for the atomweight division? I don't know a great deal about her, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe she definitely wasn't.
Potential winner of the atomweight, from what I've seen. She's going to be a real contender. Because I think Denise Zambarunga a month ago would have been a heavy favourite. Now I think with Ham coming in, if Chatri brings another couple more like he suggests, it could be really wide open.
Chris, yeah, just again, we did talk about it, but have you changed your mind on who your favourite is for the GP? You still think Ham is the favourite, or did you before? I think we both thought she might be.
Sure, Ham is the favourite. I mean, you don't become Deep, Ryzen, Jules, Smack Girl, Road Champion. I mean, she's dominated. She's got a fantastic record. I mean, most of her record losses have come when she's moved up a division. To tell you the truth, probably at atomweight, if I was a bookie and she was financially, she'd probably go in as favourite.
All right. Henry playing a bit nicer here. Aung La trains with the best team in the world. Yeah, Derek Brunson can whip Bones Mike Chan. There's so many people at that gym, Sanford MMA, and one of the best coaches in the world, right? Chris, where do you rank Henry Hooft? Is he, for me, he's definitely been like one of the top 5 coaches last couple of years.
One of the top 5 coaches. It's so hard to judge all these coaches. I mean, he's got to be one of the best over the last few years. It's just really hard how you can rank them all, because you tend to get these super gyms like Sanford, like American Top Team, they tend to go through cycles where they'll have a load of champions at one point and then no champions, and then they'll bring through the next generation. You saw the same with AKA back in the day when they had King Mo, Josh Thompson, then they had the 3 kings of Luke Rocco, Cain Velasquez, DC, Khabib is coming through now. I mean, when you do think about it and you look back to the early days of Frank Shamrock, I mean, he set up the Lions then. I mean, he brought in, as a kickboxing coach, he had Henry Hooft and Javier Mendez, who went in to start AKA and Stanford MMA. I mean, Frank Shamrock himself created 2 of the best gyms by getting these 2 kickboxers involved in MMA. I mean, it's one of them, really, when you have to look through lineage, really. So much possible. And as well, but then you can also get some gyms like you can with All-Stars up in Sweden, where you just get 1 or 2 talents, like Gustafsson and Chimaev, or my hometown gym back in Liverpool of Kauban, where they get an Etam, and then they don't really get anyone top until a Till comes around 10 years later. But you do just tend to get, it's because it's not just about the fighters they have signed that makes the gym. It's about all the guys below that, all the guys who are purple belt level, who are solid kickboxers, who you can get the rounds in, who will train hard, who, they don't even have to be professionals, but they have to be people who can go out there for 3 minutes, 5 minutes in a Shark Tank trading, really throw you in the deep end.
All right.
Yeah. Henry Hooft, I mean, he's not, I think, is it Greg Jones, the wrestling coach?
Yeah, Greg Jones, Kemi Barzini.
And they've got the facilities now. So, I mean, Henry Hooft started out with, I think it was the Black Zillions, wasn't it? And then Hard Knock 365, and now it's Stanford. And because they've got the Stanford facilities, and these facilities sound amazing. So if you combine some of the best fighters in the world, best coaches in the world, best facilities in the world, is there a better gym really to train at right now?
There's only 2 gyms that are better. One, I'm going to say George Hickman, because he's a friend of the show. Big up Tiger Muay Thai. And we all know what the best gym is in the world, the one and only Evolve MMA. Big up His Royal Highness Chatri Sichidong. Come on, no one else can have a better gym than Chatri, can we? Especially when we're talking 1 championship.
We got more support for Aung here. Can't wait to see this match. It says hi and Tet win. I hope I pronounced that right. It'd be the best bout ever. Augustine is reminding everyone, show a bit of respect. Still, 1 championship is about the respect. Please don't be rude, guys. We all love Aung La, but we also have to show respect to his opponent. I think Augustine, Aung La was happy to show respect to Reinier until Reinier said he's going to choke him out in 10 seconds, and then that annoyed Aung La. I put the smoke up him, as Chris was saying. It's got him fired up. So maybe respect's gone out of the window. Are you guys going to watch the face-off event in 1 championship today? What is that? Is that they're doing a live face-off, are they, Leon?
I think this evening, about 7:30.
Are they streaming that?
I think so.
Okay, well, maybe we'll come back and do something for that. Maybe Leon can go and eat his rice first. You already had it. I can't remember what you told me.
I don't just eat rice.
Okay.
I cook a big batch of the Thai curry. Then every 3 or 4 days, I have to cook a fresh batch of rice. So every 3 or 4 days, it's like, gotta cook my rice again.
Get a big vat of rice. Okay. I love it.
I should have a rice cooker, really.
I'll bring you one. I've got a spare one. Next time we ever see each other, I'll just make sure you got some space in your bag. You just carry around a small suitcase, don't you?
Yeah.
Also, guys, is this event arguably now, is this going to become one of those events we look at in 1 championship where with Denise and Angela earlier, and this being their first really big event, is this the start of 1 championship's attitude era, the trash talk era? I mean, look, I've been doing these podcasts with Nick for a long time on 1 championship, And it's been some of the most common stuff because De Ridder and Aung La have really, really built up this fight. And I mean, we've got a lot of people saying De Ridder's show no respect, but we don't get comments like this. It's blowing up the fight. It's making it bigger. For me, it seems like there's more interest in the fight. Are you guys feeling that?
Yeah, but I think that like Ben Askren was when he was in one, he was a trash talker.
Yeah.
He didn't really do it in a Conor McGregor way. So I
Yeah.
think you can kind of trash talk and build a fight without being disrespectful. Like Aung La and Reinier, they're both saying what they're going to do. They're both kind of trash talking in a way. If you call trash talking, I'm going to finish you, or I'm going to do this and that. But neither of them are really crossing the line respect-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's just about the right amount of trash talk. I'm all for it. I keep saying it, but it's great.
My favourite scenario is where there's bad blood. They hate each other. And they have a 5-round war, and then they're all cuddles and lovey-dovey.
Yeah, let's see.
That's my favourite scenario.
It'll be interesting to see at the face-off if there is anything there, huh?
I think we might have bad blood if Lee has to fight Lapicus again, because I think what Laurie's going to do to him, he's going to knock him out so hard that there's going to be bad blood between him. I think he might even retire Christian Lee come Friday night.
It's bold stuff. You never go against Team Lee, Chris. That's the...
Shinya's always my boy.
Shinya's a boy. Another one quickly from Henry asking, when's Gary Tonin fighting? November 23, I think it is, against Kiyomi Matsushima in a fight. Is it 20th? Sorry, yeah.
20.
Something like that. They haven't really figured out their own schedule yet. We don't even know if it's going to be live or recorded. But Christian seemed to be willing to face the winner of that. I think he said, didn't he, Leon, in his media day? If Christian wins this fight, I'm not sure. Martin, sorry, fuck, my head is Martin said, God, doing too much of these.
Yeah, I mean that is a number one contender fight.
Yeah, Martin said.
So,
because Gary's been calling Martin out, hasn't he, for most of this year? They looked like they were going to fight.
Gary needed one more fight. I like Gary a lot. I think he's amazing. I think he's going to cause most people a lot of problems. But he needed to beat a top 5 guy. Like if he beats Kiyomi Matsushima, there's no denying he's the number one contender.
Well, I was talking with Chris about it at lunch again just before this, and I was saying I think Gary Tonin is going to be featherweight champ within a year, whether it's Martin or Tan Lee who wins this fight. I think Gary's got the game to beat either of them, and he's so difficult to stop. It's such a conundrum. It's like, well, that's interesting. You know, Tan Lee trains with Ryan Hall is similar. No one wants to fight him in UFC because you look what he did to VJ Penn. Was it? I think no one wants to fight Gary Tonin. So that's what Gary told me. But Tan Lee said he'd fight him. I guess it's different if you have the belt. You have to fight people, don't you?
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up for us on the preview front. Got a couple of late support here for the Dan side, Edward Folayang. We'll see how Edward gets on. Baguio City, indeed. Team Lakai are all over there. A bit sad, isn't it, as well, Leon, that the Kevin Bellingham fight with John Lineker, it looks like, is going to be a dark match. It's not going to be live. Yeah, I mean, we have no clue what the schedule looks like, but I hope they get that live. It deserves to be live. You know, I really want to do previews and everything for that. It's hard to preview a fight if it's already happened, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's a tricky one, but what can you do?
What can you do? I don't know what the issue is, why they have to do it. Surely they're not paying for the arena. They must be getting that for free if it's from the government, right?
I don't think it's money. I think it's just
control,
logistics with the COVID stuff. Yeah,
logistics.
Yeah. Or either way.
Who wants to do that? You'd never want to do that. But I guess if you can do all the fights in one day, and then you've only got to do all the safety checks and all the restrictions and all that. You've got to do it for 1 week rather than week after week. Because I know UFC have been doing a great job in Vegas and in Ireland, but it's different in Asia. The borders are so strictly closed. The governments are so strict here that you kind of got to do what you got to do.
I gotta fix my glasses. What I gotta do? This lens keeps falling out. Embarrassing. Maybe after this show's over. I'm just too busy right now. Are you the same, Leon? It's been a really busy week with UFC 254, and now we got Inside the Matrix. I've barely slept. Been bringing all this great content for people. I'm sure it's the same for you at AP MMA. Yeah, Rocket Cat saying it must be logistics. It's easier to get the one crew into Singapore compared to Philippines. Yeah, hopefully they can figure out a way to keep doing live every week, because it's cool to have these shows they pre-record, like No Surrender 2 and A New Breed. We watch them all. We love it, don't we, Chris? But there's something about MMA live. It needs to be live, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it has to be live. And what I just don't like about it, it changes these dark cards. It changes the whole feel of the event, because there's not really any break in between the fights. Pretty much one fight finishes, and about 2 minutes later, the next fight starts. And I actually like to have a little chat with my mates, take it all in, see a few replays. If there's a knockout, would be quite nice, because sometimes they show it once and then the next fight starts. And I want a bit of time to grab a beer and go to the toilet as well, or put the kettle on.
I quite like the pacing. I just love the 6 fight cards, especially like once you've done like Tokyo and you've got like 24 fights in one day. Having 6 is just over so quickly. It's like, wow, that was so fun.
Mm-hmm. But you don't get the entrances on these taped ones.
But from watching on TV for once instead of being there, it's quite a nice pace.
Chris, Rocket Cat agrees with you. Needs some breathing room. Yeah. Leon needs time to go get his rice as well and his vodka in between fights.
I'm up sometimes for like 6 in the morning. So sometimes the quicker the earlier an event finishes, might mean I can get to bed before 4.
Yeah, UFC was tough for us last week. I was up I woke up for the main event. I just decided I can't stay up for the whole thing.
I thought I had a plan. I thought the night before I'm going to stay up I'll stay up till 3 in the morning. I thought I'll stay up late, sleep in, because I never sleep in. I'm up early, and then it'll be easy to stay up all night the next night. Went to bed at 3, wide awake at 7.
Yeah, classic. Still feeling the effects of that night. Hopefully, I feel it'll be a late finish tomorrow once all is said and done. Especially if there's an upset. If one of the titles change hands, there'll be a lot of reaction. And if Mr. Chatri does turn up for his press conference, which he's down as a maybe in his own press release.
Chatri will not show up to the press conference, guys. I keep telling you, the golden child, Christian Lee, is getting knocked out. I told you guys, possible retirement. He's not going to be there. He's going to be crying outside the hospital, making sure the bills are getting paid about the golden goose. With Angela pregnant, Christian out. He might have to throw Victoria into the Grand Prix.
We got Adrian as well. Is going to be coming up, isn't he? The younger brother, the Lees. Christian Lee, no, Christian will be around for a while. Angela, we'll see. I'm not sure if she'll.
I think that's how good Laurie Lapicus is.
He's good as well.
Imagine if back down to featherweight. Imagine in a year's time, we've got Gary Tonin, who's going to be even better than he is now. Martin, you have Christian, Than Lee, who we'll find out more about him tomorrow night. And it's already featherweight, and lightweight is really stacked. That featherweight division is going to be really, and the light. Those two divisions are going to be really interesting the next year or so.
I just worried, like with Eddie Alvarez, is Christian got the body, the frame for some of these guys in the division. It's something that I think Lapicus has said. He's never fought a real lightweight like me. It's what he said in his South China Morning Post preview article, which should be coming up soon from Matthew Scott. Maybe Christian, if he does lose the belt, does he go back down? Yeah. Leon, he's got unfinished business, hasn't he, in featherweight?
Yeah, he'll definitely go back down at some point.
Yeah.
Just depends on when and how he keeps doing it lightweight.
Yeah, I think Eddie may end up there. I've got a feeling. If he keeps getting knocked out by guys twice his size, why would you hang around? He says he's been putting on muscle, Christian. We'll see. Rocker Cat. Doubt Lee would retire, though. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to retire. I'm saying he's going to get retired.
Chris is turning heel here on this show. What's with the hatred for Christian?
I just don't want to see all 4 champions win. I want a little bit of new blood. I want a bit of excitement. I want a little bit of shock and awe tonight. So let's get rid of the golden child, eh?
We'll see. I don't think Christian's going anywhere anytime soon. I'm backing Christian. Like Leon said, man, you can't count him out. He's shocked us a few times. Yeah. It's not even a shock anymore when he wins. It's just he's that damn good.
I agree. All 4 champions are the favorite, but I just think one of them's going to have an off night. One of them's going to slip up. I just don't think they're all going to get the business done.
Can't see Christian having an off night. He's so mentally strong. He's such a professional. He's so well-rounded and he'll be so well prepared. He'll be so hungry, having not fought for so long, because he'd like to fight every week. He's like a Hamza Shimyov. He'd fight every day. He just loves it. If anyone's going to have a bad day, I don't think it'll be Christian Lee. I'm not saying that he can't lose, but I think Iuri's going to have to win. Christian won't lose.
Well, that's not totally true, because Christian actually made himself lose a fight with an illegal suplex. I mean, he literally put 1 L on his own record. No one put that L on his record apart from himself. I mean, he could do it again. I mean,
have we got an update on the suplex thing?
He's one of the 2 people to finish Christian Lee. It's Christian Lee and Martin Nguyen.
You can't suplex someone on their head or shoulders.
Right. I'm glad they clarified if they did.
Yeah.
That's what I thought anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think that about does it for our preview. We'll be back here tomorrow night for our live fight companion. And maybe we're going to be back today if there's some face-offs. We'll have some fun with that. I will text, see who's available. Leon, Chris, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you very much for having me, mate. To everyone out there, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm looking for more Twitter followers, so add me, Leon, follow me. The more the merrier, the more people I can talk about what's going to happen to Christian Lee on Friday night from my crystal ball. And also, if anyone wants to see Nick Atkin and another guys with a shirt and a jacket and no beard on, if you go on one side in the side the Matrix, if you go on the trailer, go to 45 seconds in, you can see Nick interviewing Aung La in a shirt jacket with no beard.
You find it? Where is it?
What's with the chest out today, Nick?
It's hot in Hong Kong. Well, not today. What's this on their channel, huh?
Yeah.
One championship.
I put it in the chat and in the WhatsApp.
Oh, you put it in private chat here. Okay. All right, let's try and find this. So, when's it from?
They released it about a week ago. Okay. I was around many of the bars and pubs in Hong Kong showing people how famous Nick is.
Yeah.
They do like a normal one, about 4 minutes. They do like an hour. They do like promos, an hour-long promos, don't they, for individual fights?
Yeah. For some reason, on all the promos, they love sticking on the Aung La and Brandon Vera fight.
We got it here.
If anyone else
is
the one.
Oh, there he is.
Look at that handsome boy.
Is that it?
Yeah, They have you interviewing him, and then Mr. Tate, I think, interviewing Reinier De Ridder. So I like how they chose you and me, Mr. Tate, two absolute legends in the game.
That was my Austin Powers look. Leon christened me Austin Powers, and Aung La was laughing his head off, I think. And they called me Austin Powers the rest of the trip.
I mean, I was interviewing Martin, and you just popped my backdrop.
Yeah.
Austin Powers, what are you doing?
Yeah, they still call me that. Or they still call me Ed Sheeran after that for a while. I think, as you said, though, yesterday, Leon, I'm now Tom Hanks castaway.
Or Forrest Gump.
More of it.
When he's there.
Well, that's cool. I'm in the trailer. I appreciate that. Always fun to see. Life goal achieved. No, I mean, yeah, that's interesting because Aung La called it out. He called out Reinier in December, didn't he? I remember that. And glad this match is finally up. I think it's going to be awesome. The preview's been great. Leon, plug your stuff. Where can everyone find you?
apmma.net or Asian Persuasion MMA on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all the usual.
Sing a song like Ed Sheeran. I'm not going to do that.
Page.
Yeah, no one wants to see me sing. You should, though, go follow Asian Persuasion on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, everything. Go follow.
I've got about 120,000 followers on Facebook and about 4 on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm struggling on Twitter. We got about 320. Facebook, we're closing on 8,000, I think. Our YouTube.
Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Let's get
like
there.
And subscribe. Like and subscribe so I can buy some new glasses and fix these.
If anyone can donate to Nick to buy some glasses, we'll put underneath a GoFundMe page.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah. You see this, though. This is the power of Aung La, man. We were about 3,500 subscribers a couple of weeks ago. Then I did that face-off interview with Aung La and Reinier, and we are now past 5,300 in 2 weeks. We've gained about 1,500 new subscribers off the back of that video alone. It blows my mind. I forgot how popular this guy is. He's just a phenomenon, isn't he, guys, in Myanmar? He's a true hero to the Burmese people, isn't he?
He's the most famous person in Myanmar out of anyone, not just in sport, full stop. It's like Michael Jackson in America, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Prime Minister goes to see him. He doesn't see her. Yes, Aung La #1 says Rocket Cat. Well, that's it. Yeah, we're going to hopefully see these face-offs a bit later, and we'll be back with the Fight Companion tomorrow. We'll be back with all the post-fight press conferences. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Leon. Going to do up my shirt, fix the glasses, and we'll see you all again next time. Thanks for watching.